feel like every time I put my camera down, it just gets further and further away. Like, I don't know what it is. But anyway, so my name's Alana and I'm 32 years old. And honestly, the amount of times that I have thought to myself recently and like just over the past few years, it's too late, is just ridiculous. And this whole video is literally for you if you think the same thing, because I am here to completely debunk that. Like, let's just break that down and let's just bloody get rid of it. Because listen, the thing is, it is not too late. Like, oh yeah, I could just start a ramble and get right into it, but make sure that I bring all of my points across because I could literally be here for days. So I have my notes on my phone so that I don't stray. Okay. So I'm a millennial, okay? So I still remember the days before YouTube. I am that old that I remember, you know, before the internet was really even a thing, before laptops were like a thing. And I still remember the days of like dial-up internet. Like, I remember if you wanted to download a song onto your computer, you would literally have to physically get the cable, plug it into the stupid like telephone thing on the wall, and then like do that alien noise like dial-up thing. You'd have to get some illegal software on your computer, and then you would have to literally wait, like say you were doing it in the morning, you would have to wait till the afternoon for your song to download. I still remember when I downloaded The Sweet Escape by Gwen Stefani and Akon or whoever it was, and like literally I remember it was taking so long, like hours, that I would just play the first bit of that song again and again, like do 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 do. It was like just the tambourine at the beginning, and I was like, this is just taking so bloody long. The point is, I'm a millennial, okay, and I remember when YouTube first came out and we all started getting quicker internet, and like literally it was just like game changer. Like, it was like the TikTok of, you know, my high school years. People would post like the dumbest videos and they would go viral, and it was just honestly the best thing ever. And I still remember some of the first influencers, like, you know, people like Community Channel and all that kind of thing. But anyway, my point is, it's been around for ages, right? So I think we all think like, well, I should have gotten in early. Like, I'm never gonna be Emma Chamberlain. You know, it's the whole thing's saturated, right? And that is exactly what, you know, we all tell ourselves is it's too late, it's saturated. There's all these amazing content creators out there. They've got hundreds of thousands of, you know, subscribers and a huge community. Like, they have such a loyal following. Who the hell am I to get on there and think that I can do this as well? But first of all, let's just look at some examples. Like, for example, someone like Bria Jones, who I bloody love. Like, she has blown up really recently. And when I say blown up, I don't mean like overnight. She even said herself how she cried one day because it took her like, I think it was, no, I don't even think she was at 10K followers yet. I think she was before that. And she was crying to her boyfriend and saying, I just don't even know if this is for me. And it took her 4 years to get to 10K followers. Now she's at like 300 and something thousand subscribers. And so, you know, this is like recent. This is like in the last year or something like that. So the fact that you think, oh, it's too late is just not even a thing, because at the end of the day, like, we all have our own value to give. I think for so long, we used to just look up to celebrities and stuff. Like, I remember before, you know, the internet and whatever else, like all you could get was magazines, and you would just kind of look up to, you know, celebrities and people on TV and that kind of thing, which is fine. Like, that's one thing, and we still definitely do that. But I just feel so passionate about things like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, because it's literally, you know, real people. We're now learning about real people and real life stories. And a lot of the time, that's the kind of shit that actually truly inspires us. Like, there are some real people on this planet. In fact, I would say everyone has their own story, but like, that have gone through so much shit and have learned so much and have come out the other side. Or like, maybe they haven't, I don't know, but we can just learn so much from everyday people. I mean, take the Kat Clarks of the world. Like, she went through this huge, you know, DV relationship. And now look at her, you know, I don't know how long, maybe like 15, no, how old's Letitia? Like 20 years later, she is like thriving and she's living her life with her, you know, not like new family, but like her now family. And so for us to be able to hear stories like her and like see her living her life and living out her dreams, I mean, my God, like that to me is so much bigger than like looking up to a celebrity, which look, it's great, okay? Like I love Taylor Swift. I love, you know, all of that stuff. And like, that's a whole other thing. If you are someone that doesn't want to do YouTube, you want to do music, that's a whole other thing, okay? These social media platforms, they have given everyday people a platform to talk on. That is so fucking powerful. So the fact that you say like, oh, it's too late, why would it be too late? Like the only thing that's too late is you not telling your story. And that brings me to my next point, which is that the past kind of, ever since I had Molly, my second girl, I have gone on this huge self-development journey, and I used to really not understand what that meant. And I've learned about things like limiting beliefs. Again, I used to hear the term limiting beliefs and I went over my head. Like I didn't even get what that meant. I thought people were just talking about making excuses like, oh, you know, why are you making excuses not to go to the gym? Or why are you making excuses not to like upload a YouTube video? Limiting beliefs actually go way deeper than that. They're subconsciously in our brain. For instance, if you get that kind of like imposter syndrome thing of like, oh, but who am I to tell my story? That is the kind of, they are the kind of limiting beliefs and like subconscious thoughts that are stopping you from like pressing record and then editing and then uploading. What you almost have to do is like make an argument against yourself. So you might have a limiting belief that like, oh, no one's gonna care about my story. No one's gonna like me when I post up my YouTube, or people are gonna think I'm annoying, or, you know, it's like these beliefs that we have that, you know, oh, it's too late for me. No one's gonna enjoy hearing my story. I'm not gonna be very good at editing, blah, blah, blah. If you like look at all of those thoughts, what are the actions that come from those thoughts? Literally zilch, nothing. You're not gonna take action. So what you literally have to do is break down those limiting beliefs and those subconscious thoughts and like make an argument against your own brain and go, actually, there might be one person out there who is going through the same thing that I am, and they might get heaps of value out of this. And if there's one person, then there might be a million. And then that's just like a new belief that you could start leaning into, and you can like talk yourself through it and go, actually, it's not too late for me, because, you know, this is a point that I made to my sister recently. As long as we have iPhones, as long as we have devices, it is not going anywhere. Like YouTube has literally been such a huge part of my life. I have not been doing YouTube videos for a couple of years and I haven't really thought about it. And then the other week I kind of had this like, I don't know, I just had this idea to like, you know what, I'm actually gonna start posting more on my YouTube, and now I'm like acting on that. But I thought like, it's funny how far back my relationship goes with YouTube and with these creators. Like for instance, when I was at university, Khan Academy got me through uni. Like literally, if you don't know what that is and you're studying, like you need to have a look. But you know, YouTube got me through uni. I would not have passed chemistry, honestly, if it wasn't for YouTube. And like even other things, like just learning about limiting beliefs and that kind of thing. Like I have learned about this stuff through Instagram, through other creators, through everyday people, as I said, like, and being inspired by them and their stories. And I just believe that as long as we have iPhones, as long as we have devices and have these apps on our phones, it is not ever going to be too late, because, you know, creators are always coming and going. You hear of people who, you know, get burnt out and then they jump off the platform. Not that I'm wishing people do that, because I still wish Community Channel was posting on YouTube, but I'm just saying that, you know, there is a place for everyone. Like everyone has their own value to give. Like some people are entertaining and some people are really insightful. Some people give you real like tangible value, like Khan Academy with like studying for exams and stuff. Like there's just so many different things that you can do. I just feel like it's not going anywhere. Like why? It's so valuable for people. Like why would this go anywhere? And the other thing is, as long as, you know, there are babies being born and there's like new generations, there's always going to be new people to talk to. So like there's always going to be, you know, other fellow classmates or people that are a couple of years behind you. Maybe I could do videos on like studying for chemistry or something, because there's always going to be new generations and new like years coming through that are going to find your information valuable, and the way that they take it from you is going to be so unique to how they take it from, you know, maybe someone did post about the same thing as me like 15 years ago on YouTube, but why would they listen to that? Wouldn't they want something fresh and new and like, I don't know, just a bit more up with the times, like obviously, right? Now, another reason why I'm jumping back on my YouTube is because another thing I've been learning about a lot is like how we really do tend to like attach our identity to like what we do, right? And I don't know, I had a conversation with my boss the other day and like, it wasn't even a big conversation. She was just making small talk and I'm pregnant, right? So I'm kind of not in the camera, not in the shot, but anyway, and she said, oh, so, you know, are you gonna get your mum to come down and help you when the baby's born? And honestly, like, I didn't even know how to answer her because I was like, well, I was thinking in my head, where do I start? Like my mum, you know, has like mental health stuff going on. It's been a long, complicated road with me and her. Like we don't really have that relationship. I just said to her, like, I just kind of made a bit of a joke, like, oh, look, my mum's a bit of a character and she's kind of more of a hindrance than a help, right? But I just thought like, it's interesting how we go to work and we put on our uniform and we tend to be like this kind of person, like a cog in the, you know, what is it called? Like the system or whatever. And sometimes these colleagues and people, like they don't really know the real us, which is fine. Like my workplace is very professional and honestly, I don't want that relationship with my boss. Like it's not appropriate. She's not that person to be in my life where I confide in her about this stuff. But it's just more like, this is more of an authentic space for me. It's not even, I wouldn't even really call it a creative outlet. I used to always think, oh yeah, it's interesting how people say creative outlet, but I'm just gonna be posting videos about, like, I'm not gonna be creative and stuff like that. Like, yeah, a little bit, like making the thumbnails or whatever, but this is actually more of just an authentic outlet for me where I can be myself. And yeah, I guess that is, you know, what friends are for and what family is for. But on the other hand, I almost feel like influencers and social media, it almost has its own little unique relationship with its followers where you can be a bit more just yourself and authentic and open about stuff. And you might, you know, connect with someone that's watching that has gone through the exact same thing as you, which is kind of hard to find in like friends. And again, sometimes isn't really the role of your friends. You might want to be best friends with somebody that, you know, has a completely different life story to you and like you find so refreshing. So like, it's kind of like, you know, I just feel like the space for YouTube and stuff like that, it's just got its own unique purpose. And I feel like if you are kind of, you know, craving to like do YouTube or you want to do, you know, social media and stuff like that, there might be an underlying reason for that. I do kind of feel like I go through a lot in my life and, you know, I sort of put on my uniform and go to work. And if I just came home and took off my uniform and was just kind of, that's it, I would almost feel like that would almost be my whole identity. And I kind of want to be able to have a place where I can flesh out my authentic self. You know, a place where I can really figure out like who I really am. If I was just going to work and doing that in my uniform, I keep saying my uniform, but you know what I mean? Like if I was just doing that every single day for 20, 30 years, how would I ever discover who I really am? And yeah, you can make like, you can do hobbies and like, I've done pottery classes and I've done all that kind of stuff, which yeah, has its own place as well, for sure. But I feel like this is just, you know, maybe I've brought my point across. Like this is just a different space where you can talk and you can express yourself. It's like an expression, I'd almost say like an expressive outlet. You know what I mean? And you can connect with people in such a unique way and like provide value. And the last point that I will make is if you are sitting on the fence about it, okay? Like Tom and I have gone through a lot. So that's my partner and we have 2 little girls together and we went through a lot, especially in 2020. He went through this huge mental bloody spin out, I would call it. Like honestly, it was crazy. And he broke up with me when I was 8 months old and there was a lot of like substance stuff involved and all this kind of stuff. And he was really burnt out with his businesses and everything. You know, he and I, it took us a while actually for him to figure out things for himself and then for he and I to come back together. So I think Stevie, our firstborn, was like 8 or 9 months old by the time we actually came together again. And I was actually doing YouTube at the time and I was just, you know, experimenting a lot. It was really those early early stages, and I was just doing all kinds of different videos, which now is just seems so silly. I was doing like, you know, clean out your pantry and all that kind of, which is just not me at all. But then we went up to Byron Bay, and where he'd gotten out of rehab, he went and did this like course thingy anyway for like 4 weeks. Me and Stevie flew up there. We went to Byron Bay, and it was like the best time of our lives. Like, we even wanted to live up in Byron Bay, move up there, and you know, like everybody else does. But yeah, it was just such a beautiful place of healing and stuff like that. And so yeah, I was actually vlogging at the time, and I still have that footage, you know, and I still watch those videos. And like, honestly, for me, having babies, like, that is priceless. Like, the fact that I have those videos in high quality like I do is just everything. Like, I'm gonna just treasure those videos, that footage, with my life. And even now, looking back at having Molly, our second baby, I don't have that same footage of her. Like, I do a little bit, and yeah, I've got like photos and stuff. I made one YouTube video with Molly in it as a baby, and like, holy shit, I cannot tell you, like, when you're a parent and you have children, like, they do fucking grow up so bloody quickly. And like, the fact that I have good quality, high quality footage of little Molly, even for like 10 minutes, the way she like holds her little broccoli and the way she eats it at her little high chair and her chubby little hands and the way she's like looking up at me and stuff, I honestly cannot put a freaking price on it. So even just do it at least for that, at least just for the footage. Like, honestly, I have learned a lot in recent years about, you know, living in a balanced way and like not overdoing it with YouTube and stuff like that, and how important it is to have a schedule, especially when you have children, because you don't want to be vlogging all the time. You don't want it to be too invasive, for sure, and like getting in their faces and like always like, oh, where's the camera? But even just having a bit of footage, like even just having a little bit there is like enough to be like, yep, I'm gonna be posting on YouTube. Like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. Anyway, so yeah, there's my millennial rant. Okay, so I'm 32 and I'm starting again. I'm starting YouTube again. Now that we're pregnant with our third baby, I'm like, yeah, I want to stay committed to this and like, honestly, just do it. Like, why not? What else am I bloody doing? Like, yeah, I'm going to be super busy as a mum, new mum of 3, but like, I just feel like it's so worth it. And if you have that desire and it hasn't gone anywhere, like, what are you gonna do? Like, don't wait till you're 40. Like, don't wait till, like, honestly, do it bloody now while you have the energy, or even if you are over 40, like, there are so many creators out there now, like, that are doing it at a later age. Like, obviously you have some sort of value to share. So like, fucking just do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so worth it. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day and I'll see you next time. Bye.